Good afternoon, everybody. So I'm Godfried Willem Raes, as I've been introduced. I run the Logos Foundation. The Logos Foundation is something that I started some 45 years ago, so way back in the late 60s, and we are now housed in the building that you see on that little slide. In 68, 69, I took a decision never to repeat old music, never to make anything else than do new music. It was kind of logical in the atmosphere of that time, and as a conservatory student in music, it was at that time such that in the conservatories you just played Bach, Beethoven, etc., but we are not supposed to make your own music, whereas in the Academy of Fine Arts, all the painters there, they could make their own paintings. They would never paint Van Eyck again or Rembrandt again, etc. So we took the model of the Fine Arts Academies and wanted to introduce that in music life and music education. But with the decision of playing new music, only new music, had a consequence. Because isn't it kind of strange, if you want to devote your life to new music, that you would do that using only tools of the very past? Isn't it in principle a mistake to suppose that if we want to express ourselves musically nowadays, that we should still do that with the tools from the 17th and 18th century, that we still play violins and pianos and clarinets and trumpets? All the instruments that are taught at the conservatories are at least 100 years old. Who says that if you want nowadays tools for musical expression, that you can still use these old tools, that they are adapted to the kinds of sonic structures that we want to develop nowadays as tools for musical expression? That's one thing. So in a very early stage with Logos, I was fascinated by making new sonic worlds and by making instruments for that. Obviously, if you take those years, the way to go was electronics. So I started designing synthesizers of different kinds, the first actually digital machines also, but all purely electronics based. I've done that for about 15 years, and at some point in my life, I stopped that completely and said, no, this is completely wrong, and I will tell you why. Because if you are, as a musician,